Hello everyone, I'm McKenna and I do character design, animation, and overall a 2D generalist for Master of the Maze. And today I'm going to take you through my process for creating a sprite character for our game. Woo! Alright. So first things first, we're gonna need to build this character because we don't know who they are. All I know is we need an NPC. Since this game is based on a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, we had to figure out what the story was. And the only person, my bad, Dungeons and Dragons replica. The only person who really knew the story was Daniel, since this is his game. So part of my job, I had to figure out what that story was. So I made this world building document for him because I wasn't really getting a lot of clear answers. Because it's hard. How do you explain everything about a world? You can't. So this world building document helped the team, especially myself, because I wrote the majority of the dialogue for this game. It helped me understand this world that was created from this Dungeons and Dragons game. Made a lot of sense. Anyways, this character comes from this world, and we need to know who are they. Bit of character. Alright. So this character's name in the script, the world building document, her name is Xenifer. And the reason why I'm going to be making Xenifer sprite with us today is because she doesn't have a lot of worry behind her. She is an NPC, which means non-playable character, pretty sure. And if you see her, it's not really a spoiler. She just kind of exists in a room, but she does have a fun description, and we're gonna need to go to that description for this. So after I look through the story and the notes and the world building questions, I come here to this mood board. This art is not mine. I took these pieces from Pinterest and I plopped them in here for reference. So you never take someone else's work. I had Daniel look through each picture and he picked out which one he thinks best fits Xenifer. I remember he said he liked the sass from this one and the long hair, and he liked this outfit. I like this outfit. So it's very nice. This was from the document itself. Sleeping scribe, dark green or navy blue. We went with dark green, or we will be. Blonde hair, blue eyes. Straight from the document. I like having the design document on my notes because it gets really cluttered really easily. These are from other mood boards, don't mind those. Now that we have a brief idea of what she looks like, we would come into here. Yes, I technically made a sprite of her before, but this is wrong and we need to change this. Xenifer is going to be sleeping on a stool in a room of some sort. And gonna need to actually draw that. Alright. Well, this is the outfit that I went with and Daniel approved, so we're working with this. I worked with the 3D environment artist and programmer very closely, and for this character I really had to go to the 3D environment artist because this is a 2D and 3D game, which means you have the actual, it's literally like cubes and then flat character. My bad character. My very bad. Oh, it's horrible. But we had to find a way to merge these together. In this case, the stool that Xenifer's going to be sitting on is going to be 3D. So I had to get with the 3D environment artist and ask, hey, what best should I do here? He said, make this character flat, no perspective, which is going to mean the camera's facing down in the game, like this. So Xenifer would be sitting on the hedge stump here. That's essentially what's going to happen. In 2D art, we try to cheat, making it look 3D by cheating in using perspective. So we make like if the hand is closer to camera, or this squiggly snake thing here. This is a perspective practice. this looks closer to the camera. We can't do that with this game, so we'll just stick with this. Actually, this is the wrong layer. I hate it when layers are wrong. An artist's worst nightmare is drawing on the same layer. Layers being over here. If I added a big change to her, if I made her dress black, and I hate this. Let me delete the layer. Oh, I can't. I have to manually go back. See, it's already being destroyed, but that's why we have undo. Artist work in layers, please. Alright. I'm gonna steal your head because I'm reusing assets that I've already made. And I'm gonna put it in the other layer. I guess I should probably draw the stool. She's gonna be an imaginary stool. So this here is gonna be the stool. Alright, I'm gonna make a stool. It's gonna be fun. It's a bad stool, but it works. See, this would be a perspective that I was just about to do. I love perspective in 2D art, but I have to refrain because this is a 3D world. You can't make up perspective in a 3D world. It just looks bad. You should just not do that. That's the wrong layer. That's fine. Alright. We have to think about what type of pose she wants to do. I was thinking in the script, she's sleeping on the job. For shame, Zephyr. So I googled sleeping in a chair at a desk, and all these images popped up. I'm liking this one. This one's also pretty fun. Actually, I almost like this one better. That's funny, but she's not in an actual desk. Just, maybe she's leaning on the wall, sleeping. Or leaning on her knee, sleeping. That could work. So let's actually map this out better. Sometimes I like to briefly sketch. She's gonna be relaxed, so her feet are gonna be over here. Gonna be balanced just right so that she's able to fall asleep. She's probably gonna be in an uncomfortable position. Want her to lean. Want her to Michigan. This is too much. She needs to come forward a little bit more. It looks funny, but this is really how I work. Don't need funny, I need results. As long as the funny gets me the result, I don't mind the funny. I think her head should come down more too. This really is a lot of trial and error. With game development or any film industry, there's a fine balance between quality work and get the job done in time. Because we want efficiency and we want, what's the word? Quality. I wonder if she can lean on the wall instead. Sorry, I'm referencing this picture again. She's gonna be right here. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the times when I draw these characters or I animate a movement, if I'm really struggling, I will act it out myself and I will take a picture. I wish I was kidding. I will, honest to God, just pull out my camera and start recording myself doing these weird movements sometimes, like for this character. Ah, I don't have a weapon here. No. I did not. That's devastating. I don't have a sword yet. No. A cloak. Ah, spooky. Alright, whatever. Maybe she can put more weight on her chest. No. I want her to lean on the wall. And I want her to snore. Maybe drool a little bit. I think that'd be funny. That's pretty alright. I'm satisfied with that. That might not look very lovely. Actually, that looks a little small. And thankfully, I can just make it a little bigger. Whenever I size these characters have to be the same size. But I always base it off of the player character. Oh, it's still working. Size is important. When we first started making this world, I had to work really close, once again with the 3D environment artist, and figure out what a pixel game is going to look like in a 3D space. So we had to map pixel counts, and it's tedious. This is technically not a true pixel game, and there's not really a way around that because it's a 3D environment. When you look at a pixel game, you have the character, I don't know, it's literally just like the same screen size, but it's not the case for our game. but we can get it close. Alright, after this, I like to lower the opacity. Oh, look, wrong layer. Get rid of that. Alright, now I borrowed her head earlier, and I'm gonna plop it on here. I think that's fine. Right, I think I'm just gonna pixel art's fun. Every pixel matters. I haven't been doing pixel art in a hot second. I've been writing more than I've been drawing lately. There we go, something like that. I mean, when you zoom out, you can see. Maybe later. Add that later. It's fine. And I think I have one. When I animate these characters, because I really am an animator. I took on the role of character design and writing and some asset design, but I am mainly an animator. So when I designed these characters and I started animating them, I've never actually done pixel art before when I joined the team. I was happy to take on the challenge, and it was actually, I ended up really enjoying it. I really enjoyed designing these characters. And honestly, I really wanted to be a part of the dialogue in some way. But anyways, when I designed the characters and I started animating them with pixel art, it's really nice because for small movements I wanted to have her breathe. I could just snatch some of these pixels that's for an idol or something, and I could just, that is the wrong layer, and I could just, look, she's moving, she's idling, and that's all I have to do. But when I created the player character, this guy was the first character that I really animated. We needed him early on in production, and it was a challenge for me because the player character, you see him the most. This character is what the player's gonna see the entire time you play. And because of that, the animations needed to be really good. He needed to be spot on. And early on in production, when I was trying to develop a pipeline, proved to be a challenge. So the player character took the longest to animate just for that reason. But I animated him differently than the other characters, and I'm really glad that I did, because in 2D animation, there's rules with animation, like timesheets. I used a timesheet for the player character. I actually animated him in a sketch format first, and then I animated the pixel over it. And I'm really glad I did that because he has a lot of overlapping animation with his shirt and his backpack and his hair. It looks really loose. Oh, and his pants. I'm really glad that I did that. I haven't really done that with the other characters because they don't have as much screen time. And I also added the little white little poofs to show that he's swinging his arms. Oh. There's a little design I thought would be nice. Alright, get her foot there. Actually, when a lot of people sleep, they kind of like, wonder if I can portray this through pixel. That is the question a lot of the times. It's, can I do this? The answer is usually yes. So a lot of people like sleep crow-footed. This would work if she wasn't wearing a dress. You have to think about these things. No, she would not have her foot up. She would have her foot lazily down. I love adding personality to my characters. Since I am an animator through and through, it's really important that I get who these characters are, what do they care about, what do they not care about, what is their sole purpose in life. So Zennifer here is really, she seems sassy, she's a teenager, she doesn't really care. I see Zennifer as my mom dragged me to work with her and now it's my problem. Oh, I did it on the wrong layer. No. It's fine. That's the other wrong layer. Where the heck did I put it? That's better. From this point, I don't really know what else I could really say. So I'm just gonna finish this sprite so you can have at least a finished product for this lovely video. Marketers. That's cute. Goes down. I think I want down more. Color in a little bit. I think I'm just. Oh, there's my chair hitting the desk. Alright. pretty much there. I know a lot of people out there, a lot of people who draw and scribble, and they don't think it could go anywhere, and they think their art is not good enough or anything. But if that is you, I want to say that you should not think that way. Your art could go somewhere, and this is, I guess, an example. I don't know. I used to hate showing my art to people. I always thought, like, oh, it's not good enough. It's kind of garbage quality. You wouldn't want to see this. But what I've discovered is that it's okay if your art is not the Mona Lisa. In other words, to say it's okay that your art is not good right now, because there's always room for improvement. So as long as you don't give up, then you will make something beautiful. I actually keep all of my sketchbooks. I'm not a hoarder, I swear. I actually hate clutter. I keep all of my sketchbooks because whenever I'm feeling down about my own work, I can look back on those old sketchbooks on pieces that I've made years ago that I was really proud of, and I can just see the improvement. And I think that is really cool. There we go. Buttons are hard. This is not in the reference. Dangerous territory. What color tights would she have? It's such a light color. What would work? Maybe. Or maybe she could just could wear. That works. Okay. I'm just about done with the Sleeping Xenifer. Really glad I had this reference. Actually, more waste is there. Silly me. I'm so glad I had this reference ahead of time. I made this sprite maybe a month ago? 2 months ago? But I had to put my attention to something else that needed to be done. So it took more priority. So Xenifer was put on the shelf for those few months. Which is a shame. There we go. That looks better. It's pretty good. I'm gonna put some wrinkles in the fabric here. Actually, that should be more like this. Not show that there's movement in the dress. She's just sitting there, sleeping on the job. Wonder if her hair should come out here. Ooh, hey, come on. I like that. I actually don't hate that. Alright. You know what? I'll roll with this. That's very nice hair. Xenifer, give me your hair strategy. Xenifer, what's your hair treatment? I actually have curly hair. I could never have. Xenifer, what shampoo do you use? Alright. That's pretty good, honestly. A little bit of shading. And I'm just gonna steal that blue. Some drool. I like that. I'm pretty satisfied with that. Just my Sleeping Xenifer. I just accidentally copied her frame. Oops. I can merge it, and then I can pretend that I never made that mistake. Even though mistakes are okay. I love making mistakes, because then it teaches you what not to do. Learn from your mistakes and be better. Yep. Okay, I want her arm to move up more. I want that heavy breathing in the sprite. Wait a second. What is this? That's fine. Don't like that. The drool can fall. Yeah. I will say I don't usually animate this fast. Oh, that's an earlier design of Xenifer I had in mind. This is a simple sprite, so it doesn't need a lot of complexity. Xenifer's gonna be seen in one room, and so she doesn't really need too much. There's only gonna be 2 frames. The more secondary animation that you add, what I do? No, I didn't do anything, but I thought I did something, and that means I might need to change something. The more secondary animation that you add is the more you're gonna have to keep track of when you animate a character. For example, the player character. Oh, I want his hair to move. That means I have to animate every frame of his hair movement in all angles. Oh, his pants move. Same thing. But the player character is really complex, and so I wanted that detail to make it seem more alive, feel more alive. I'm pretty satisfied with this. She can suck in her hair, actually. That'll be my last change. Yeah, that 1 pixel change just made the sprite look so much better. She's taking such a big breath that she's sucking her hair into her mouth. I said the last detail. I need to stop. Alright. I'm going to stop it there because I am tired.